are back with another live video, both a model review and painting video. Sorry that I took a little bit longer to start this video today. I had a minute or so of just needing to collect myself, but I am good. And we're going to be doing some Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. And you guys can see, I'm going to put this a little bit better in frame. And just making sure that we're good. Yeah, we are good. We're going to both look at the Ghost Rider model. So I'm going to do a little build and review of that, which we're going to try building. I know sometimes you guys like when I build, sometimes you don't. And then we're going to continue on Deadpool. So this is going to be our second installment of painting him. And like I said, sorry for the false start. I know I was letting you guys know it was going to be 10 o'clock. So we just started like about 25 minutes late. Which I appreciate. So if you guys did come at 10, I do apologize. I promise next week I will be much more on the ball with it. And you guys will be able to check me out. And just a reminder, we're going to be doing some Warhammer painting tomorrow. So please, 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 if you can, check us out then as well. So without further ado, let's take a look. And I wanted to give a shout out to Undiscovered Realms, the sponsor for these videos. They are so good, those guys over there. Please support them on their website. They are my local shop. It's where I get all my hobby and gaming stuff from. And they have always been good about getting me all set up. I get my supplies there. I get my models there. And they have a wider range of stuff like Marvel Crisis Protocol. They also have Warhammer, both Age of Sigmar and 40K. They have a bunch of board games, so please check them out. And as always, please let me know how are we sounding and how is my mic. And by all means, please participate in the chat. So you guys can see it was $35 for this model. Now, for folks that don't know Marvel Crisis Protocol, I'm just going to take the plastic off the box so I don't have that glare. Marvel Crisis Protocol is a tabletop miniature game for the Marvel franchise and the whole Marvel universe. The idea is that you make small squads. That you then are going to do objectives and other missions on the table. It's a great game because it doesn't take a lot to get into the game. So that's the other thing I love about it. It's a very cost-effective. Okay, and you can see here, this is the Ghost Rider model. So you can see a little bit on the back. I apologize for the glare. I'm going to get my lighting a little bit better for this stuff. I'm just going to pop it open. But yeah, what's really cool, so you do get the, of course, Ghost Rider model in here. So this is a single model for $35. But he is a larger format model. And usually, most of the models are going to come with their ability card, the sprues, tokens or other things that are related to the character, and then your assembly instructions. And what's usually when you do buy, it's usually 2 characters per pack. But sometimes for the larger characters, they do have multiple. They will have one. They'll do it in one box because you'll see he's on the larger base. And what I love already is that the bases are sculpted bases, so it's always a lot of fun. But let's take a look at Ghost Rider and what he brings to the table from the Marvel Crisis Protocol games. So you'll have, like I said, there are 3 things in the box. There are, now sometimes there's a variety of cards, but we have, of course, different what we call affiliation cards or ability cards. They're like one-time use cards usually within the game. Sometimes we will have a scenario card. So the scenario cards are what you're actually playing when you are playing one of the games. So this is the objectives that you have on the table. So it is an objective miniature game like you would think of Warhammer or 40K. And you'll see Demons Downtown has our comeuppance come due. Place 3 flaming portals, target of opportunity as indicated on, they have maps for the layout of the game. And it says players score 1 VP for each flaming portal they are securing during the cleanup phase. During the power phase, if a character is within 1 range of a flaming portal, gain the incinerate special condition. So they actually get hurt by standing next to the flaming portals, which kind of makes sense. And then, so you're getting hurt while you're standing next to them, but by standing next to them, you're securing them, so you're gaining points for your team. Very cool concept for a mission. I really like that. And then you see unaffiliated for him. So unaffiliated means you don't have to have essentially a whole team. He could be by himself and take these cards. And like I said, these are special ability cards. I'm just going to read them off because my lighting in this new setup is not bad, but it's a lot of text, so I'll pause it for you guys to read. Deal with the Devil. If Ghost Rider is KO'd, he may spend 4 power to play this card before he is removed from the battlefield. Choose another allied character. Ghost Rider removes all special conditions, removes all and activated tokens, drops all object tokens, and is then placed within 1 inch of the chosen character. If the chosen character was healthy, flip Ghost Rider's card to the healthy side. Enemy character within 2 inches of Ghost Rider. Oh my god, so he literally comes back from the dead based on how healthy the character that you put him next to is, and if there are adjacent enemies to that, they're taking damage. Oof. And obviously this is a reactive ability, so this happens if he is KO'd. That's really cool. And then Highway to Hell. I'll give you guys a pause so you can read it if you want. And it's when all allied Ghost Rider... when an allied Ghost Rider begins in advance during the activation, while within 1 inch of an enemy character, he may spend 3 power to play this card. So he spends 3 power. When Ghost Rider ends this move, place that enemy character within 1 inch of him. The enemy character suffers the incinerate. So basically, it's a way to pull people into him so you can get close combat off. And I'll explain in a minute what we have. And those, of course, are going to be your Fire Portal tokens. That's going to be your Incinerate tokens. And just some other good time tokens. And I think there's a reason why they're giving you these tokens. Yeah, I know exactly why they're giving you those tokens. Because these are probably the secure tokens for securing the portals. And that's for unsecure. And those are your Incinerate tokens. So they give you the tokens you need for the special conditions. I love that they give you everything in baggies, because the baggies are so cool to use. I use them for storage all the time, or like when I'm putting tokens or games together. Now, every character has a card which tells you all about their stats and their abilities. I know why this hasn't been working. I'm not on my close-up card. So there is a healthy side of the character and an unhealthy side of the character. So if you look at the top, we have health, which is 7, movement, which is medium. We have height, which is 3. Height plays a significant role in this game. It's for if they can pick up objects, if they can be in cover of objects, if you are trying to pick up or hit someone. There are some rules with line of sight with height. And then you'll see this is like your points or threat level. So if I go back to that card that was the scenario, you'll see that the scenario has a 19. So that means that I can spend up to 19 points to create my force for that scenario. So taking him would knock out 5. So that's why you're usually going to have forces of 3 to 4 characters when you play this game. And then you'll see physical attack, blast attack, or psychic attack. Chains of Damnation, or long range is another way to think of that. After this attack resolves, this character gains power equal to the damage dealt, which is pretty standard. It can do it for 3 away, and it costs him no power to do this. Is spending resources. If he rolls criticals, Hex, after this character's attack is resolved, the target character gains the Hex special condition. So that basically means you're trapped. Flames of Hell. It's got a special range condition. It's 5 dice you throw. It's 2 power. If this attack deals damage, after this attack is resolved, the target character gains the Incinerate special condition. So you're incinerating a lot of people. Seems to be the big thing. Penance Stare, which of course is very standard for Ghost Rider. Add dice to the attack roll equal to the amount of power the target character has to a maximum of 5. Instead of gaining power for damage dealt by this attack, the target character loses power. Ooh, so it sucks power from him. That's pretty cool. Then we have Hell on Wheels. Advance this character long. The superpower can only be used once per turn. So he has a built-in advance which goes past his medium move, so he can move longer than he normally does. And then Spirit of Vengeance. After an attack made by an enemy character that is within 3 of this character is resolved, if the attack target another allied character, the character gains power. Gains 1 power. Okay, wait, let me read that again. If the attack targeted another allied character... Okay, so he gains power if you're hitting other characters on your force. Then you'll see in the damage side, his health goes down a little bit. His attacks all stay the same. So nothing really different there. But Wicked Judgment was something he didn't... Oh, no. Yeah, so usually the attacks don't change. Sometimes they'll tweak them a little bit. There is sometimes where the other special conditions will happen. But I think... Just scanning this really quick. I think he stays the same. So you would go through the healthy side... He gets stunned, and then he goes to his regular side. And what I like about this game is the rules are extremely simple. Now, here comes my next favorite part about this game. And that is the actual models themselves. So I love how simple and how nicely the sprues are laid out in Marvel Crisis Protocol models. They're super, super nice, super, super simple. And the reason why I love that is because not that I can necessarily build him blindly, but you sort of could, because the pieces are so well laid out and well designed. But Atomic Mass Games, who makes this game, of course, does give you assembly instructions. Oh, sorry guys, you're seeing my forearm because I wanted to put the instructions out there. Put my bag over here. All right. Oop, that's gonna go on the floor because that's how I roll in these streams. I am such a messy builder and painter sometimes. All right. So usually what we start with, which I think is true of pretty much of every model I've ever built from them, is the torso. They always make me do the torso of the character first. I think it's kind of funny. Now, what I also love about these models is that the way that they design them, it's really hard to put the wrong pieces in the wrong place, because everything is usually studded or grooved like this is. Now, I may have to go to my newer glue, although, oh no, looks like we still got glue left in this guy. But yeah, you can see it's all fitted. So I love that because it makes it so much easier for you to know that you are, in fact, doing things the appropriate way. And you can see all the nice detail of the fire in there. Super, super cool. All right, so we're putting arms on already, which I think is kind of cool. So you can see the arm pieces. And I'll show you something cool about the arm pieces. And I promise we'll get to some painting as well, guys. I always get nervous when I build models, because I know you guys, it's a hit or miss with the models. Sometimes people love seeing me build models. Other people sometimes don't. And I love this. You'll see that there are different sockets for different pieces. So like I said, it's super hard like, it's super hard for you to put the wrong thing in the wrong place. So whereas with GW models, sometimes I get not nervous, but like if it has like a connect, or if like two pieces have to fit together. I'm sorry, my camera keeps you guys are probably getting like sick of the focusing, but you know, if you have something that has to interconnect or fit, sometimes with GW's models I get a little wonky with getting nervous that I'm gonna mess up and put the wrong piece in the wrong spot. But like I said, with these models, it is like 100% very like hard to do that. Now, sometimes with some of the characters, you get what I'm getting now, which is very, very tiny build pieces, because they use a lot of costume seams to hide the seams in their builds, which is not a bad thing. It's just the way that they do things. But, and you'll see what I mean in a minute, because like where GW, what they tend to do is they will they'll make a character. So Games Workshop, for people that don't know when I keep saying GW. So if you're familiar with Warhammer 40K, that larger war games, or even like Kill Teams or some of their smaller games, what they tend to do is they tend to have you build the model, and then they'll put a lot of details on it to sort of hide the seams. Whereas what these guys do, which is kind of interesting, is they'll use, you know, because they're working, and I think this just comes down to aesthetically, because they're working with superheroes, they use a lot of like natural lines in costumes. So if like jeans have a seam, or a shirt has a seam, or a jacket has a seam, they have a tendency to use those natural seams to try to hide it. All right, so what do we got to do here? So it's funny, when they first started making their models, they actually didn't label the sprues. Now they do. Which is extremely helpful. But also confusing. Oh, wow. Okay. So they're doing a close-up in the instructions. So that's one thing I will give you guys an FYI. They show these extremely close up in the instructions. So you got to definitely like find the way to find those pieces. Because I didn't know when I looked at that was what they were actually referring to. I like for a minute I was like, is that on the front? I don't remember Ghost Rider having like his bike with a giant a giant skull on the front. So it almost looks like it's the emblem for the bike, but it's actually his head, which I think is kind of interesting and kind of weird. But see, this I will say, not a tremendous fan of. They'll do it with a lot of models. They'll make the head in like 3 or 4 different pieces. But what I will say that I really like about it, and you're going to see it in a minute, is how there is a good attention to detail. So you'll see how it sockets in, and then the bottom's going to socket to that. So what I think I'm going to do, and I'm sorry that I'm doing this off camera, it's so tiny. Yeah, there we go. That I don't want to do it off camera, but I'm so afraid I'm going to glue my fingers together. And I kind of did. Oh, geez. Okay. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's kind of crazy. But they even put a dot there to put it in. So when you put this down, there's no way for you to like put it in the wrong way. Like it has to go one way on the model. It's like it's like attention to detail on an unbelievable level. Sorry guys, this is a little bit of a tricky to try to show it to you guys. Sorry. So that was a crazy fit. So I don't know if you guys could see, but there was a little divot in there, and you had to fit it perfectly in there. But because of the way they designed it, and they did this for a really specific reason. So going back to what I was saying, see how now they hid that seam like perfectly on the fire? So there's layered fire, but the seam is nice and hidden. So you guys you'll see the magic coming together in just a minute. With these, I tend to try to use a little less glue. So again, because of the way they do the grooves, look at how nice that seaming is. Like, you have no issues with seaming. All right, so I have a little bit of glue in the middle that I got to get rid of, because that will create a seaming issue. But yeah, so you guys will see. Just hold it up here. So you can see what I meant by they use a lot of natural areas so that you don't have too much of things like that, where you have that break or that seam. Wait till you see how the head goes on. I'm trying to be very gentle with my glue application. Alright, so Alright, sorry guys. I was trying to like So look at that. Look at, oh my god, that's so awesome. So you literally are, it's like got a nice socket to it. So again, if you look, they layered all that fire and there's no seaming. It's like so perfect. And I don't know what it is about the Marvel Crisis Protocol models, but I feel like I build them very fast too. They're like really easy, simple building. Another kind of wonky thing. So another wonky thing is they tell you to do this as step 7, and there's a step prior to that. But I don't know why you would do the prior step. It's really weird. All right, hold on. I'll show you. Well, I can't show you. It's hard in my current setup for me to show you the instruction manual. But yeah, basically on this side of the side of the bike I just popped out, you're supposed to put the tail exhaust on it, but when you look at the actual picture, it's it's them putting the two pieces together. So it's like, do you put it on here? Because you could very, very easily just put it on there. But when you see it in the picture, it's actually this full bike assembled. But it's the step after you do the tailpipe. So there is some little like nuances that I've noticed that there not too many things like that, but I know even like one time there was a misprint on the instructions where it told me the wrong piece. But like I said, it's the people that lay out, the designers who lay out the models. It's so easy. Like, I don't know any model. I mean, I'm using the guide, but I really, for a lot of them, I just don't use the guide. I just do the model because it's so easy to do these models. Okay, this is a little trickier. Oh, no, it's not. Because you have the groove right there. I thought it was tricky. Nope, 100% not. It fits right in there nice and snug. It's crazy. It's crazy how good their model team is. It's like, and if you go on their website, you can actually see interviews with their model guy, and he's awesome. He's like super awesome. My goal was actually to get this done earlier today because where I am currently, there's actually a lot of rain happening, so I'm not going to be able to prime this after that. So they're working on tailpipes. I'm going to try to hurry this up. I know I'm going to be doing like 20 minutes on this, but I know you guys want to see me get to the actual painting, because I know you guys come for the painting, and I want to give you guys painting. We're gonna finish up Deadpool today. Is my hope. Okay, and then 14. So that's 14. This wheel. As you can see, though, I mean, I'm going to be done with Ghost Rider in like a minute, because he's got very little details left. And if you guys are enjoying this and want to see more, please consider following the channel and signing up for notifications. Always a treat when you guys do so. As I say, now, knowing this company, and that's why I love them, because some of you out there might be like, well, how do you know what way to do this? And they've taken care of that because they made a hexagonal plug. So you can't put it in wrong without it looking like 100% wrong. So I love that about them. It's, you know, it's not the GW formula, which I don't like that much. Oh, and then if you didn't know, there's the actual groove for it. But the GW model is to, like, they give you nubs, but they don't make them distinct. So, like, in some cases, at least for me as a model builder, it can sometimes be a little confusing, like, where, in fact, that model is supposed to live, or where, in fact... Alright, so part of this is my fault. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of that glue and put it in there. So, like anything else in life, it's a cylinder, obviously, the bar. So as long as I'm getting it flush in there, it should make its way the right way. But just for the sake of argument, I'm going to make sure that I get that other one on there as quick as I can, so I can line them up. There we go. And you can see, oh sorry guys, I know I'm doing a terrible job with getting you guys on the know of what's happening. I keep messing up the camera angles, but what I was going to say was, you can see just how nicely that all lined up. Now, normally with a lot of models, when I try to do stuff like this, it becomes a disaster because it doesn't line up when you glue it. But because they've done such a good job with making sure that the models are lined and good to go, so that's definitely not the way that this is supposed to go. Okay, I think this is... I think... Ah, crap. Because he's doing... jeez. Yeah, because he's doing... Yeah, there it is. Because he's supposed to have a tilted wheel. So... and again, guys, we're just doing a model review and build of the Ghost Rider Marvel Crisis Protocol model, and then I'm going to get to painting some of that Deadpool model. After we do this, we're literally we're very close to the finish line on this guy. Ooh, I forgot to do the chain. So we're gonna get his iconic, chains that he punishes the wicked with. All right. And then you'll see, nice and tidy, sprue is all done. And then that's the Ghost Rider that we've put together already. Again, as I said to everybody, the detail that you're going to see is just unreal on these models. Alright, and then this is always tricky. I always find this stuff very tricky because when you're dealing with good, it's nice. I'm trying to do less is more with the glue, but when you're dealing with elements that are this fragile, it's always a pain to... I think it's actually supposed to go this way. Ah! Alright, I gotta dry fit this in. Sorry, guys. I'm trying. No, it goes the other way. Finding the right way that it's supposed to fit in the model's hand. Yeah, there we go. That's the correct way. Look at how crazy that is. Look at how awesome that is. It's so nuts. The detailing on this model is super, super crazy. And then, of course, we're going to put him on here. But what I'm going to make sure is true before I do anything is that, of course, I line up. Yeah, there it is. We want to line up that hand so we know that the model is lined. Alright, there we go. That's okay. So like I said, normally if I was doing this with, let's say, a GW model, it would be so hard to do this, and I'll explain the rationale as to why. The rationale as to why GW's models can sometimes be a little on the harder side to get things like that to happen is because, see, what they do with the Marvel Crisis Protocol models is that I said it before as we were building it, they try to make a lot less seams. So in the GW models, they make seams, they make a lot of articulated seams. So like you have like part of the head on a different thing, but here they really try to make it simplistic, like the head is the head, the body's the body, the arms are the arms, the legs are the legs. So it has more of an action figure feel to it. But that looks freaking stellarly awesome. I also like, and I've said it before, I like that the Marvel Crisis Protocol models are a little bit bigger scale than Warhammer models and 40K models. So it also translates into they're much easier to paint. Now, I also love this bit. I love that they give you garbage to decorate your base with. So that, like, instantly for me is awesome that they give you sculpted bases and, like, a little bit more base interaction. So that's always a crowd pleaser to me. Oh. I'm just going to be a little gentle with this model because it is a little bit more fragile for folks that we're getting closer to the holidays. But for people that have seen A Christmas Story, you'll get the fragile reference. And as always, I say it to everybody as they're watching. Don't be a stranger. You know, pop up if you got comments or questions. Please throw them up there. If you want to know more about Marvel Crisis Protocol, the game, if you have questions about just general hobbying, it could also be part of it. Now, the only thing that I think is going to be a little haphazard, although let's just do that so we prop them a little bit. So the actual model itself to get it on the base. So, oh, did I just like mess up the bike and mess up the pose? No. Just want to make sure something. Hand is still on there. Yeah. All right, cool. That is a little bit wonky because it's a sculpted base. So the sculpted base, it doesn't prevent you from doing a good job with it, but like it is hard to glue them down, for lack of a better term. Awesome sauce. All right, so that is the Knight. That's the Ghost Rider model. I will be getting the Blade pack, so we'll be having Blade in there. I want to make a Mystics team. I have Doctor Strange, so I will definitely be doing that. So let's get back to painting Deadpool, which I know all of you are 100% excited for the Merc with the mouth and us finishing this up. So let me get my tiny brush, because I am definitely going to need this tiny brush tonight to get ourselves started. Nice. All right. So I started. Did I do the swords last time? Yeah, I did do the swords last time. I love how I start painting the model and then like people start to evacuate. That's really funny. I'm losing viewers. They're like, "Oh, you didn't talk about the Ghost Rider model enough." All right, so you guys can see this is where we were with the Merc with the mouth. I'm gonna start doing some of the black bits, and then we're gonna do some of the other stuff. So let's get my Templar back. So for folks that are wondering what I'm using, I primed it in Gray Seer white, and I'm using the contrast color stuff for the paint. We were talking through in the last stream how I think contrast paints are beautiful for potentially someone who might be new to the hobby. You know, so if you have not really painted too many models and you're just starting out, I would 100% recommend the contrast paints for this. Especially if you're doing the Marvel Crisis Protocol figures, because the contrast paints lend themselves really well to superheroes. Because superheroes are very, they're very blocky in their color. They're very bright in their color. And what I'm doing now, I'm just basically going through and getting the black parts of his costume painted. There are some straps in the costume, which you're going to see me go back over. The reason I'm going to go back over those is because they are they're actually silver in color, so I can cover that up with the black very well. The one place that's going to be a little dicey and tricky is going to be. Oh, I think I'm going to use the paint rest. Oh, look at that. It's funny, I bought this painting handle, and that is one of its features, that it has what's called a painting rest. So you can rest your paintbrush, and I always forget to use it. I use it sometimes as a handle more than what it's supposed to be used for, and I think it's funny because I'm actually for once using it for its intended purpose. Yeah, because it's supposed to be used for exactly what I just did, which is when you're trying to line up a paint, it's supposed to be for that. So you can, the idea of it is that you put it here, and then you could, I could go in here, rest my paintbrush on it, and then it gives you a more it gives you a more steady hand, if you will, for when you're painting. What it does sometimes, what I've been using it for is, like I said, I use it a little bit more as a handle, and I actually use it so I can hold a little bit more stable. And these are from NV Gaming, and these are Desk Wizard. So NV Hobby or NV Gaming is where I got these. And then Desk Wizard is who makes my trays. These are awesome, these trays. Yeah, so Game MV is where you go, and Desk Wizard is what it's called. But they're made out of actual, like, plastic, and they're with metal screws. So, like, the quality is, like, super good. And they're easy to clean if you get them dirty with paint. So I'm really, really a fan of them. I have an extra one because I'm going to make a travel painting pack. Because if the day ever comes where I get back to doing some live painting, I used to do that. I used to, in my last gaming store, I would actually go and do live painting. I want to have the ability to have like a mobile painting setup. And with the contrast paints, a lot of people ask me, like, what's the best technique, and I always say, you know, what you want to do with them is exactly what I'm doing now, which is you want to sort of load them up and do blocking. So whenever you're doing new colors, or whenever you're doing existing colors, you really want to block out that color and be pretty generous with your paint so you get a lot on there. Because what the magic of the contrast paint is, and you'll see it as I'm painting, is that when you get a lot of paint in there, it goes into all of the texture on the model. It goes into all the grooves. It goes into all of the areas of it, and it will pool. No pun intended for who we're painting. But the idea is that you'll start to see it'll get darker in some of those muscle structures. So it is in fact, for people that are veteran painters, what it is doing is it's actually doing a few different layers of painting to alleviate you having to do as many steps. So you still have to go back and do like edge highlighting and possibly add some more shading, but what it does is it makes it so you don't have to do as much. It really does, in a lot of cases, make it so so you can, you know, sort of do that one coat, and you get a model that's pretty decent, and, you know, can get you through doing some stuff. And guys, I will do my best to answer the chat. I'm trying to keep my eyes on it, but what I need to do is I need to actually, like, now that I have my painting set up and I can actually put stuff there, I'm gonna actually take my iPad so I have like a stringing chat, so I can see it on the chat versus trying to look at my computer. And I will eventually have my cam back. It's just that I have to order more lights. There's the area I go, and I want to redo some stuff because obviously, like right now, my backdrops and stuff, they're not the greatest, so I want to get a little bit better there. But yeah, please, guys, shoot up questions, shoot up comments. I'd love to hear what you're working on. I always do that. Oh, sorry, guys. Let's get this guy out of here. All right, let's take a break for a moment. And like I said, I can fully see your chat. And I always like to know technically, because this is like the third time I'm doing the new setup and the new studio. let me know how the sound is and how everything's going. I think it's going pretty well. I know I have some opportunity with the camera and the focusing stuff, but I will get better. Part of that has to do with if you guys want to see our last review of League of Infamy, I actually moved all my equipment into another room, and then I had to re-put it back. So if anything is a shortcoming on this video, let me know, because I had to put it all back together, and I did a little bit of testing. But what I should do is I should get you guys in here like a little bit before, so we can do like a pre like, you know, can you guys hear me, equipment system check, that kind of stuff. But my life always seems to go the way that I just had it go, where something will always come up like minutes before I'm about to go live, and then my brain is like not in the right shape. So that seems to be more of a trend lately. So, but yeah, if you guys can pop in and say some stuff, like I said, I super duper love to hear, you know, what's on people's painting tables, what projects are you working on, or even just like what games you're looking forward to. Because, you know, in the world of tabletop, you know, it's not, you know, it's something we could talk about, and we talk about it on our talk show. We definitely talk about it on this channel, and you can see videos of us going a little further into it. But you know, COVID has definitely rocked, you know, like it has rocked so many other things. It's made gaming harder for a lot of people. You know, whether it's, you know, something very practical, like, you know, like many businesses during the COVID times, if your local gaming shop just couldn't stay afloat, couldn't stay with it, you know, now they're closed. Or if you're like me, who had the fortune of actually having a few gaming shops in the area, and again, I want to thank Undiscovered Realms for sponsoring this video, and being the place that I can get all this cool stuff. But you know, now I would say the bigger issue is like the supply stuff. So I know for me, getting paint, getting primer, getting brushes, and in some cases getting the models have all been extremely challenging. Like, it has been super duper bad news bears in some cases. You know, and it has forced me to do some slightly crazy stuff for the purposes of like getting what I need. But what has been, I think, really annoying, and not too many cases, but a few cases, is that, you know, it's even like to the point where, you know, the companies have made it so hard for people who run these small businesses to get the product that people want, that I had to go outside of my store to get product. Like, that's terrible. You know, and it didn't, you know, thank God it hasn't happened too many times. Like, I've been able to support my store in pretty much everything I do. You know, besides like the things like the handle I'm using for painting tonight, they don't sell that product, so like obviously I had to get that online. But I was able, which I'm always happy and thankful for, I was able to get it from the actual manufacturer of it, so, you know, direct, and that in turn is supporting a smaller business, or a smaller entity. But for my like main hobby shop, I had to buy Gray Seer primer. I had to buy it. I couldn't find it But what to me was the bigger issue with that was I actually bought it from GW. So, you know, so Games Workshop, and that was really, really, like, I guess the start for me of, like, being like, listen, like, that's really messed up. Like, you're telling stores they can't reorder it, but then if I go to your website, like, I can order it. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you don't want to support, like, you don't want to support smaller businesses. Like, that just seems wrong. You know, so that started to really get to me, and I was like, that's not right. And then there's a few other little things that they did, and it's definitely been true with certain releases of, like, certain models, where they're playing this game now where, you know, they're only allocating a certain number of models for, you know, certain retail stores or certain places. And I was like, you know, I was saying to myself, like, seriously? Like, this is a joke. Like, and it's, like, crazy. Like the folks over at Undiscovered Realms, like I said, they've been super helpful, and they're so, like, accommodating and work with me and try to get me what I need. But, like, there have literally been times where he's been like, my allocation for this is, like, 1. So, like, the only reason I got it was because I stay very on top of, like, GW's website, and I asked him, like, way in advance for it, so I was the, like, first person that asked. So he got it for me, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, how does a store who's trying, you know, and you know, we're talking about hobbying, right? A hobby that is expensive. It is tougher for, you know, like, for everybody to, you know, be able to get those things or spend, or have the you know, maybe to spend that money on these, because, like, some of these models are, like, you know, the case of Marvel Crisis Protocol, Atomic Mass Games is not doing that. Mantic Games, who makes Kings of War, they're not doing that kind of stuff. Like, what I like about them is that they're more across, like, the way they do it is, like, they find a number that works for them across the board, and then they kind of enforce that, which is so much better than the other way, you know, is to do these like, we're only going to carry this much of this stuff. Like, it's just crazy. Now, that's what I thought. So his fingers, yeah. Yeah, this is... Deadpool's not a tough model, but he's got, like, a little bit of detail on his costume that and I guess this is maybe the more current Deadpool costume. Which I mean, I know Deadpool. I know his costume pretty well, but... Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to... Yeah, black is my least favorite thing to paint, because the black contrast is so dark that if you get it wrong, you're gonna have to you have to go right back over it with white. So I always try to, like, make sure that, like, whatever I'm doing, I'm getting the... I'm getting, like, the detail right. And what's going on with him? Whoops. What's going on with him is that he has like the finger gloves, so you actually see his red fingers through it. So I'm just trying to like make sure I get that detail, and then because basically Deadpool is those two colors. He's black and red. So I'm just making sure that as I'm painting him, I'm taking into consideration that detail, because I don't want to get the black on something that should be red, so I have to do double the amount of work. I want to try to get it right the first time, so I could just come in with the red. And obviously what you guys are seeing is I'm blocking it out, but you can see a little bit of white there. I'm gonna have to go back over this with red, but I'm gonna obviously wait until that black is fully drying. So I'm like trying to, but you guys can start to see it's coming together really nicely, because I was thinking of doing some stuff to the model, but the sculpt doesn't really lend itself to a lot of it. Like I was thinking about doing some body parts detached. I was thinking of doing some other fun stuff. But the model, I mean, I guess I could have green stuffed it. We're gonna start doing a little bit more models, or not more models. I'm gonna start doing some of those videos where I use green stuff and some sculpting and molding, so you guys can see that. Now that I have the better setup, like I have a much bigger work area, so I can show you guys more stuff. Obviously, the big piece that he will instantly start looking more like Deadpool is if I do those eyes. And again, we're painting Marvel Crisis Protocol models. For folks that don't know what Marvel Crisis Protocol is, it's a game made by Atomic Mass Games, and they are a very, very cool and awesome company. Oh, there's way too much paint on this. All right, let me. And it is essentially a small squad-based game where you have you're gonna create a squad of usually anywhere 3 to 4 characters on a team. And what's the awesomest part about this game is, of course, you can create it from any villains or any heroes, and they have quite an array of quite an array of characters to choose from. Whether you are an X-Force fan, whether you are an X-Men fan, whether you're a Spider-Man fan. But what's cool is you can literally, make a team that has both heroes and villains all in the same place. And it is tabletop. And if you guys could believe it, Atomic Mass Games makes this game. They make this game, and they make Star Wars Legion. So talk about a company. I shouldn't have done this freehand. Alright, so this is a lesson learned in painting. I mean, I'm not going to toot my own friggin' horn, but I shouldn't have done this freehand. Not at all. Yeah, I'm mesmerized. Oh. Wow. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little stunned at myself because I'm not usually that good at this. But damn, that worked out real well. Yeah, I should have totally used my magnifiers for that because those eyes are super small. They are not even tiny small, kind of small. They are super small and they need to stay white. That's what's crazy. Because he's Deadpool, and of course, that's iconic for him. Having white eyes, extremely iconic. We're going to fix his chest so we stop seeing so much red. But you guys can see the minute that I do those eyes, Deadpool comes alive. Alive. And of course, because we were painting Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. Hey, how's it going? It's going good, my friend. So you can see where we got to with Deadpool so far. Nah. So I'm just going back in, touching up some of those areas where we got some white. Oh. Sorry, guys. So I'm just going back in, popping some red there. And now what you'll see sometimes is if I go back, oh, sorry. If I go back over it, so we talked about this last time, and I'll start doing this now, but I'm going back over his muscles so that we can build that definition in there and start giving him the six-pack. Now I may have to use more fun tack. Let me put this over here. And again, guys, if you like what you see, if you want to see more, we'll be painting a lot more Marvel, guys. We'll be painting a lot more Warhammer Age of Sigmar stuff tomorrow. Yeah, Mondays are always Marvel Crisis Protocol, like essentially Marvel Crisis Protocol day. And then I do Warhammer stuff on Tuesdays. And then I'm now going to be doing Mantic game stuff on Wednesdays. So 3 days a week we're going to be painting. And I will definitely be also doing some game review. So tomorrow you actually might get a twofer because... which stinks because they haven't actually come out with any Guardians that I haven't already painted. I painted those a long time ago because they did come out with all of the Guardian characters. But for people that don't know, the Telltale Guardian game actually comes out tomorrow, so I will be grabbing that. So we'll have a little bit of gameplay of that too. So I'll be doing my like first impressions of that game as well. So tomorrow's gonna be a good day for folks that are signed up for the stream. You guys are gonna see me doing a lot of stuff. And I know, and I was gonna say the folks that are watching now may call me out on it. I apologize again. That I haven't done any gameplay of Phasmorda. The real reality as to the why I haven't done it yet is because the reality is I'm a little bit of a scared guy, and I do not want to do that on. I don't want to play that right before I go to sleep. It will freak the living crap out of me, and I will not get any rest because I'll just be like panicked that like there are ghosts in my house, and it'll just, I know it's the type of game that'll get in my head, and just give me like some really bad things going on. So I just want to make sure that I'm in a better place before I start playing that game. But something like Guardians, you know, Guardians is just gonna be, I know it's gonna be a fun ride. And I mean, how couldn't it be? You know, it's a Telltale game. So, like, how can it not be a good game? I mean, those folks don't make bad games, so. You know, I've talked about it in other streams, but, because I've done streams of some of their other titles, but they are, yeah, they cannot do wrong in my book. So you guys can see now I'm doing that contrast layover. So I'm bringing some of those muscle groups back out, and then we'll do a highlight on there as well. But you can already see that knees getting more pronounced. Things are getting more pronounced. So as I go in to touch up that red, I'm definitely going to take the moment to give some muscles some highlights and things. And that's what I love about the contrast. We were talking about that on my last stream. Is that I love how it's that simple to get something, you know, to get something with depth and intrigue, and all I'm doing is just going back over the color, and it already juts it out. It gives it no pun intended, it gives it contrast. Hence why the paints are the way. So like I said, for beginning painters and people that are starting out, contrast paints are where it's at. And GW is not the only ones that make them. There's other places that make them too, you know, in their paint system. But I do recommend them for beginner painters, because they are really nice. And then if you want to, you know, as you get more well-versed and feel more comfortable painting, you know, then you can bust out of your shell and start doing, you know, other kinds of effects and things. So you can see all I'm doing is going back over some of these grooves to darken them. That's what I'm doing right now. Now, what's great about us getting all of this stuff done is that this is going to set the stage for us to start being able to do actual battle reports. So once I get everything fully set up on the other studio table, which you guys saw us do the board game review on it, I'm gonna get some more lights, I'm gonna get some more equipment. We're gonna have some real cool stuff happen there. So all right, just give me a sec. Oh, I didn't bring them out. All right, you know what? I'm gonna let this dry for a minute now that I did some touch up on that, and then I'll start doing a little bit more. I think as a treat for this stream, I might do some. I'm gonna paint some minis that are actually not Marvel Crisis Protocol, but they'll just be fun. And I will go get them. So you guys have to wait a moment. I will be right back. You will hear this lovely music and epic music. Again, for folks that are just joining us, this is the Ghost Rider model that we built. I wanted to show that off to the folks that are here now. I really love this model. It is pretty solidly built. The chain is awesome. We did a review of the cards and everything, but the detail they did on this, very, very cool. All those flames, all that good stuff. It is certainly going to be a model that I am going to be extremely happy to paint. It's going to be a lot of fun to paint it. Again, Marvel Crisis Protocol always coming through with those sculpted bases. And his rules are crazy. He jumps around the board. He sets people on fire. I am 100% ready to go with that. I think that's pretty awesome. So guys, give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm going to put them down here. I think you guys might know who they are the minute that you see them. But I am going to be painting. So these are not Atomic Mass Games. So can't say things. Atomic Mass Games did not make these. But these are from something I was able to get. But they are Scooby-Doo miniatures. And I figured while I let that dry for a minute, just so, because you're supposed to let contrast paint dry for about 15 minutes. I'm going to let it dry, let things seep, and then I can go in and start doing some more detail work and touch-up work to it. But I can already see, just from the little bit that's there, that Deadpool is already leaping off the page, which I was thinking of potentially doing, which that would have kind of been cool if I did him almost like he was being drawn to color, but that's fine. What I am going to do, let me just grab this, is I'll paint these as a little bit of a quick thing, because they're pretty easy to paint. Let's do Shaggy. Shaggy was always one of my favorites. So, and you can see the sculpt, pretty, so they are a little bit more on the generic side, because these I got from, I did get these from an Etsy shop, but because these are fair, it's not like the other models I was talking through on another stream. These are very much very close to the IP in which they're related, so I may forego mentioning the shop I got them from, just in case they don't want the publicity. I don't know. I could say the Etsy shop, I believe it's actually not there anymore, to be quite honest. But I wanted to use these in a campaign, or eventually in a campaign, a custom homebrew campaign. So we're going to just paint them really quick while we wait for Deadpool to dry. Because I was like trying to figure out where was the best place to put these guys. And I really want to devote more Mantic painting moving forward. So on Wednesdays, so I'm like, I'm gonna put those in there. Although I do have a wonderful gentleman that I was able to get some Grimm's Fairy Tales fantasy stuff, which is going to be for another homebrew campaign that we're going to be talking about. So I will definitely be highlighting his work, because they're just super. The sculpture's super awesome, and I may also be using them as a Blood Bowl team when they are not being used in that capacity. So, but because these guys are cartoon characters and the models themselves are a little on the smooth side, they don't have a lot of texture to them. I I figured these would be good, like, just quick paints that we could do in between while I'm waiting for stuff to dry. And I don't know if you guys out there have seen it, but I didn't realize, apparently in 2018 there was like this weird movie that they did for Scooby-Doo, which was, it was called just Thelma and Daphne. And it was literally just those two characters. It's really, really super weird, because you're like, the whole time in the movie you're like, but what about Shaggy, Scooby, and Fred? And you don't see them, of course. Okay, oof, I almost forgot the color of Fred's pants. Fred's pants. I almost forgot the color of Shaggy's pants, which, by the way, for folks that are wondering, they're brown. They are dark brown. They are dark brown pants. And in fact, it would be kind of funny if I did if I did do like them teaming up with Marvel characters. I do plan on using them as bystanders in Marvel Crisis Protocol games, so that would be another place that they would show up. I also have, because a lot of people don't know this too, but there's a DC miniature game, and I do have some of those models, which I will be painting. Poof, I am doing such a terrible job with the cameras, guys. I'm so sorry. My camera game will be so much better. You know what it was? I reset my camera, so it is super hard because and what I am noticing is that my camera, I think the secret is I can't have stuff behind my camera. But I've had these models for actually a really, really long time. And I kept forgetting to prime them. So one day I was priming a bigger item, and I just kind of threw them on and was like, today's the day, let's get them primed. You know, even, sorry guys, I keep going left. Even more so because I'm like, you know, I started thinking about it. I'm like, they're such simple paints. Like, I mean, it's gonna take me no time at all to paint these because, you know, they're cartoon characters, so they're gonna have very, very like quick linear painting. They're not gonna be, you know, they're not like a Marvel superhero or like some of the other characters that I paint that, you know, I want to make sure they get a little bit more treatment. Like, you know, these are literally based off of these are based off of Hanna-Barbera characters. So, you know, you want to make sure they're colorful. Now, what I might do as I take a look at them painted, I might play around with doing some like freehand lines with them, but I don't think so because the models themselves are just so, oh geez, they're just very simple. They're really small and they're not as detailed. So I mean, the sculpt is good. Like, the sculpt is still pretty good. You know, they are a little bit more generic in their details, so I might not go too crazy with them. So you can see already, definitely definitely got the colors of Shaggy going there. And I wish I could do Casey Kasem justice for an invitation, but I cannot. I cannot for the life of me do a good Shaggy impersonation. No. Can't do a Scooby either. I think I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to go back over his flesh because it's looking a mighty dark. I'm gonna have to probably get my newer Gilliman because see that way that the flesh came on. That's really the way that you want to see it. Now what I can do, which I can play around with this. I can if you put water on top. Oh, sorry. If you put water on top of contrast, you can play with it in a way that doesn't make it so oppressive in the color, like it'll be a little lighter. Because I find with the skin tone, when I'm using that Gilliman, it's nice when it's got a lot of water to it, because then it'll be a nicer, lighter color that you get. And I thank you guys for all being here and supporting the channel. For the folks that have already signed up and are already already with us and follow us and have those notifications turned on. It's always super nice and awesome when that happens. And I really appreciate it, because then you can be part of the fun. And like I said, if you are interested in commenting or talking with us, I love it when you do. I know a lot of times, and I find it awesome. I love that sometimes people will be maybe painting or doing some stuff while they watch us, which is always fun. So I appreciate that too. Yeah, so what's happening now, and this is just somebody's fault, but I watered down the Gilliman a lot. So I may have watered it down too much. But I'm trying to be a little bit. God, I'm doing such a bad job of keeping this, folks. This model is really small. That's part of the problem. It's like most of the time I apologize, but like the model is super small, so that's why the camera's having trouble focusing on it. Alright, I'm gonna do the rest of this one off camera. I don't normally do that, but I'm going to do it on this one. Alright, sorry guys. I know I did that off camera, but yeah, it's something weird about it's the way his head is. it's just weird. It's like his head is like super. What's the word? It's like super duper smooth, so it has like no detail to it. Which I've never really painted a model like that before. Oh, sorry. So I'm trying to get detail, like. He doesn't even have a mouth. That's like how little detail is in there. What I may have to do for this one, which I don't usually have to do, I might have to just draw features on it. Like do a freeform. Oh, sorry. I'm doing such a bad job putting this in frame, my god. Alright, maybe if I just take my hand and block it. Yeah, that'll probably work. Yeah, it's like, it's just a face too. It's so weird. Yeah, so these are going to be weird models. I wanted to do a little bit of a test like paint with it, just to kind of see what I was getting myself into with the other ones. But it's going to be weird. Now, it might also just be that my Gilliman needs to be changed, because I'm kind of using an older Gilliman that I have. But it's like super duper weird. It's just the way the color applied to it. I don't understand that. He doesn't look horrible. Like, it looks like Shaggy, because the models, like I said, are just so tiny that from afar you'll say it's Shaggy, and there's not like much I can do. It was cool just to get like to find on Etsy somebody that made these, so that if I wanted to do like use a D&D system or a system out there, you know, to do a custom campaign, I wanted to have the models to be able to do that. So it was just interesting to get, or to be in an area where I could get those models. I'm going to have to actually look at his shoes, because I don't remember Shaggy's shoes. He also had an orange shirt, which I have to paint in, which is why I left that little collar at the top. So for anyone that's die-hard Scooby-Doo fans, don't worry, I know about the orange shirt. I do know he has an orange shirt. If you were concerned that I wasn't painting it. And you can see that snakebite leather looks very good for Shaggy's pants. Yeah, these are going to be fun. I just wanted to paint. You know, start painting one, see what it looked like. Just get a feel for some of the challenges I might have. And so far, yep, they're doing exactly what I thought they'd be doing. And again, they're getting painted a lot like just generic cartoon characters, which is fine. Like they're looking like Hanna-Barbera characters in the color department and the way the details are, so that's perfect. I'm liking every minute of this. Alright, alright. So Shaggy. I also have, I do have He-Man miniatures as well. So we're gonna, at some point I'll be painting those up as well. From a company that I was able to find, which is super cool. Because again, using, you know, maybe D&D rules or other RPG systems that I have, I'd love to do like homebrew rules where like you get to be the masters of the universe and take on Skeletor and some of his minions. I think that would be super awesome. Or I actually think it would be cooler, and I think I'm going to do it, where we have like maybe a dimensional rift, and we have, you know, maybe multiple characters from different universes meet each other, which could be super duper fun. Alright, so you guys can see already Shaggy is coming along nicely. And like I was saying before, he does have an orange shirt. Oh, I think this orange is... This orange has seen better days, but we're going to try it. Ah. Crap. Ah, I screwed up. Well. There we go. I remember him having an orange shirt. You guys could definitely correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't remember the color of his shoes. And again, I had to freeform that shirt in because it's weird. They made a front. So whoever designed the model, they made it in the front of the model. So you guys can see. For a little bit of time, not too shabby. Now this was a 3D, these are 3D printed models, so this is not resin like the other models that I usually paint that are maybe Etsy bound. So these guys were... I'm sorry that I'm doing this off camera, guys. It's just, it's so... This model is so tight. I'm probably not going to paint the rest of these on camera. Just because they're so tiny. They're like super duper tiny. So I think it's hard to see the detail on what I'm painting. But that's where we got to just in one session. So like I said, because these models are so tiny, you can't really go too crazy with the detail. We can... You know, we can certainly do a little bit of stuff, but I just want him to have really the color recognition for the character and a few other odds and ends. So I'm not looking to go for like super high detail. Like definitely the Marvel Craze Protocol or like my Warhammer models can have more detail on them. So yeah, that's kind of the hit or miss with the Etsy stuff. You know, you can certainly get some like really awesome models, but when it's like stuff like this, I mean, they do a good job. Like everybody does a good job, especially if they have a 3D printer and all that stuff. Now who can remember what was blue in the show? What had a blue bag? And if you remember, It's very iconic to Shaggy and Scooby. Because I bet when you guys saw this, you were like, ugh, it's probably a sandwich. Because it is, in fact, Shaggy. But there was another thing that they ate a lot of that is going to be fun, because I'm going to have to do some freeform on that, too. Very nice. Yeah. Those, I could bang those out in an afternoon. Those are simple. Those are easy. They're not hard models at all. I know, it's funny. The skeleton horde, I'm using it a lot for the hair, and I never thought of it for that purpose or for that usage, but it works really, really well. Yeah, it'd probably help if I painted like the back of his arm. What you guys think? Let's see where we got to. It's pretty cool. Did a little test paint on Shaggy, and then obviously we got Scooby, Fred, Daphne, and Thelma. So I'm going to leave these off to the side because I will definitely paint these off camera. It's pretty good. We only been out for an hour and a half and we built them out. I actually am getting much faster at all this. All right, so that's our Deadpool. That's where we're at with Deadpool so far. I'm gonna do a little bit more with him. Yeah, okay. So then we're gonna. Ooh, not good. No, I want the skeleton horde. That's what we're gonna use for all the strap stuff. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna paint. We're gonna go for strap work on him. Number one favorite thing to paint. I love using skeleton and the leather, the snakebite leather brown to do this kind of stuff. Because the minute we paint this in, alright, so what I'm gonna do is just paint all of this, the snakebite, not snakebite, the skeleton horde. And then I'm going to come back in with other colors when I feel like it. Just so I have that even tone. And then I could always come back on top with another color for straps, for hardware, for other stuff. But at least then I'll know without a doubt that all that will have gotten that treatment. And you guys will see, the minute I start putting all this down, it's going to look super good. And super detailed. Oh, geez. Yeah, the swords are not going to have it. All of this is going to get that snake bite. And then I got to figure out what's going on with some of that shading on that. And then what'll happen is sometimes when I'm doing that, I'll see, ooh, I gotta fill in like a black piece or whatever. And what I love is that because the black is where that is, you're gonna see just how easy it's gonna be to make this look epic and awesome. And if, let's say I go over a black area with this, all it's gonna do is it's gonna just fill in that black area. So you'll get that the close for that area of painting. Yeah, it's all okay. So we're just gonna go full mountains. And then I'll come back and do his insignia. Because that's the cool thing about this paint is that I can just go whoop, and just pop all this in. And then I do this sometimes, and this goes back to the blocking idea, where I'll just go in and I'll be like, let me just paint this whole thing that color. And then I'll just go back in with the appropriate color and paint in those areas. But at least what it does is, like I said, it fixes that issue of me feeling like I didn't hit an area or I didn't get an area. And then like for some of these like pouch bags and stuff, I may come in with a darker brown. It all kind of depends on what I'm trying to go for a look. And again, I will most of the time add yeah, I have a tendency. What I do is I move the model a lot because I love these bases, because I love this handle because you can rotate it while you're painting. So part of why I'm able to paint so fast is if I want to, I can rotate my model to get to a different side of it, because this whole thing will rotate. So I can rotate this to get where I want to go. So that is super duper helpful. Oh, and I'm doing it again. All right. Sorry, guys. Not that the camera's in like a totally different place, but it is different from when I was painting in my other setup. So just bear with me. By the end of this week, I'll have it down pat. It happens to me every single time I do something like this. So if I move lights or equipment, or I move to a different area, I always have that learning curve where I'm like trying to figure out what's the best way for me to do a lot of stuff. So just bear with me. It's gonna it'll all get better. I'll get better at it too. But you guys have been watching diligently for 2 hours. I am so happy and pleased, and you guys are such great supporters of the channel, and I love that. And just share this as much as you can. Share it with a ton of people. I want to continue to grow, and we're really trying to work on getting more folks with us live, so I can get affiliated, so I can start doing this in a much more full-time capacity for you alls. You know, I'm working through getting... Oh, the swords are black. So the handles of the swords are black too. I'm trying to work through getting, you know, to kind of the next level with stuff, and obviously getting... I remember this problem. Oh yeah, he's got a gun pouch. I'm like sitting there going like, oh, there's like a much bigger part of this that I didn't paint. And I'm like, oh, there's a giant gun pouch. Maybe that needs to be the tan color too. You think? The answer is yes. Because it's a metal. It's a metal. It's a leather holster, so should it should be there. But yeah, so all of this, I want to get it to a point where, like I was saying before, we can get to getting full. I want to do full bat reps. I want to do full everything. But a lot of what's my issue is that, because I have to do this in between everything else that I do, it does provide a little bit more challenges for doing that particular goal. So your support and you guys being here really does fuel all of that, and can also fuel other bigger things that I want to do moving forward. I'm gonna have to probably redo all of this because I'm noticing now how messy this all is, and the problem with the red is that the brown doesn't overpower that red. So it was probably dumb for me to paint it because I'm only gonna have to redo it, but I should have just re-whitened it. But you're starting to see, the stuff emerge, and him starting to emerge out of there and looking very detailed and very nice. So Deadpool is definitely starting to. Oh no. Losing the crowd. I'm sorry. It's probably because I was like a little off with my thing. It might also just be that it's midnight because people do watch us for a while. Probably I'm going to try to end at this time. Just because, I don't know, I find. And you guys could tell me better maybe in the comments or even message me. But okay, I gotta be careful. Oh, I was just about to make a mistake. Okay. I mean, I had to do this anyway just to get it closer, but he's actually got black on there. And I was just about to paint. I'm gonna just take the opportunity to get this tidied up. Yeah, so you're seeing some of my like some of the areas that I'm realizing either I didn't get to or that are in fact red, like yeah, you're always gonna be, but I just realized the reason that's there is because that's got to be black. So I almost did something. Sorry. I'm doing the. Like I said, I promise, guys, that I'll be better with the camera next time. But you guys can see where we got to with him. It looks super, super dope. I really like how this is coming out. Alright, so I think we're gonna finish off here with the Merc with the Mouth. Probably one more pass. I'm gonna say one more session with him, and he'll be as good as gold to do his thing. I'm really excited with the way he's coming out. Yeah, we got a lot more detail going on. Started to build some of the muscle areas. Gonna get all of his equipment and stuff done. But like I said, probably gonna work on him a little bit off camera, so that when I come to you guys next week, we can start doing the Ghost Rider. And then, not that it's related to the Marvel stuff, but we also got, oh Jesus, we also got Shaggy painted a little bit up. So we started painting Shaggy and the Mystery Inc. crew, which, like I said, I'll probably be using them maybe as innocent bystanders in the campaign, or I'd love to do a mashup and create a Marvel Scooby-Doo campaign. Since they normally met DC characters, I think it would be kind of fun if they met some Marvel characters, which will never happen in real life, but I think it would be funny. As always, thank you guys for watching. Please, I want to thank again my sponsor for this video, Undiscovered Realms. Check out their website. There's a link below. It's where I get all of my accessories and paints from. It's where I get my Marvel Crisis Protocol models from. Check out Atomic Mass Games, the game itself. Like I said, I'm feverishly trying to paint everything we have, including terrain, so we can start doing our actual full games for you guys on some scenario play. So please, please, please check that out. And as always, please, 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 check out my website, Patreon, and my other social media links. If you want to be here for the next video, please follow and sign up for notifications. And again, we worked on Deadpool today. That's where we got to with this model. We also got to a little bit of painting Shaggy and some of the Mystery Inc. guys, which was kind of fun. And then we did a full review and model reveal of the Ghost Rider model, which I'm gonna get primed up and ready to go. So if you guys want to see more of that, Mondays are always going to be our days for Marvel Crisis Protocol, aka if you want to see people painting Marvel models, it's a great time to join us. Tomorrow we're going to do Warhammer stuff, and then Wednesday we're going to do Mantic Games, if you're familiar with Kings of War and some of their other products. So I'm going to be doing painting up and continuing to paint models for you, and then I'm also going to have tomorrow Guardians, so I want to do my first reaction to that game, the Telltale game. So again, whether you like art, creativity, or just some plain good old gaming, this is the channel for you. So consider signing up, follow the channel, sign up for notifications. You can see the schedule of what we're going to do, and check out my other links. All right, take care, guys. And of course, if you're just joining us for this video, jump back and watch the whole video. And the biggest thing you guys can do for me is also share it out to anybody you think would like it and find it interesting. Maybe they're into the hobbying and model stuff. Maybe they just want to learn more about some tabletop games, or maybe they just are big Marvel fans and they want to see the different characters. Whatever it is, have them come on and see us. And as always, take care. There is a tip/donation button and a Patreon and my website to support my services as a commissioned artist and painter, as well as my own indie comics and other things to support. Check it all out. See you guys at the next video. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow.